Hey everyone, we are live. This is Arsenal Fan Circle, the pre-game show. And looking back in previous shows, Tony, Mahir and I did one of these, I think around New Year's. The last pre-game show was Manchester United at home to Arsenal at home to Manchester United, and we got the 2-0 win. So let's take that as a good omen, Tony. FA Cup final to Epic FA Cup quarter final. I'm jumping the gun a little bit there. FA Cup quarterfinal versus Sheffield United, and they are a team that's going to be committed against us. We know what we're going to get from Sheffield United. We're going to get all the things we talked about in the podcast that Arsenal seem to be lacking: desire, leadership, things like that, and they will be fighting and scraping to get into the semi-final. And we should be doing the same thing as well, Tony. Your thoughts initially?
And it's a good thing that back there that they've been in lately. Hopefully we come in and play the way we should be playing and get the win.
Yeah, and we're going to announce the teams at in approximately 10 minutes when the teams are announced. So we're going to go through probably what we think the team should be. I feel like there shouldn't be a lot of change from Thursday. Wasn't in the end Thursday. We got a little bit of luck with their goalkeeper being intercepted from Eddie, but you kind of make your luck as well. I think, Tony. What was your take from the Southampton game going into this one?
I like the first half and half. I didn't think we were playing hard enough and enough desire and drive.
Yeah, players. So players for me that I want to see staying in the team. I want to see Eddie to stay in the team. I'm not sure if Lacazette has the confidence to keep rolling with this game. I want to see the centre back staying in place, but the real worry for Arsenal fans, I think, is Tony, if David Luiz comes back into the fold.
The Sheffield coach and one of the players were actually wanting Luis to play because he's got that error in him and thinks he always will.
Yeah, that just says it all right there, Tony. The Sheffield players or staff wanted David Luiz to be starting today, and we're going to see in about 9 minutes. We will announce the teams live here on this podcast right now, the pre-game show. Lots of things that we need to bring to the table. And as I mentioned, I want to keep the centre back pairing of Mustafi and Holding. Now, they didn't do so well against Brighton, but they got found out right there at the end. One of those games, I'm going to put it down to we definitely didn't have the desire in the Brighton game. We didn't have the application, and we were found out in the end through a sucker punch right at the end. And terrible way to lose the game, and it really tests probably the coach and the players, and they had some answers for us against Southampton, Tony. So were you happy about the way they applied themselves at Southampton after the Brighton game?
After two losses, I still have enough desire to went out there and played harder than they did, considering the two losses in a row.
Okay, so I'm going to go through my team, and we're gonna give our team as we would want it to be, and then obviously we're going to hear from Arteta what his lineup is going to be. So we're going to announce the team in 8 minutes from now. But we definitely, for me, this is a big game, a quarterfinal. The butterflies should be starting right now. For me, especially, a competition that we are very well aware of. We've won the competition 13 times. We obviously would like to win it again. You have certain fans who really feel like we could miss we could miss this contest and miss the not being in Europe and probably benefit from it, and that's probably very very true situation, Tony. Um, people don't want to be in Europe so that Arteta can concentrate on the team next season without interruption. Have a game every week. it's very beneficial, and we've seen Leicester City actually benefit from that, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon Rodgers, they've had a good season, Leicester City. Will remains to be seen if they're going to kick on. And, they're playing, let's just quickly preview the other games. They're playing Chelsea a little bit later. So who's your fancy between Leicester and Chelsea?
I think Chelsea and the rest of the players.
All right. And then, so you're going for Chelsea. I kind of agree with you on that one. I think Chelsea are starting to find their groove right now. Pulisic, he really turned up against Manchester City. And but who's your other fancy in the other game? We know Manchester United got through, luckily enough. I was hoping for penalties in that game, and for the um, the Newcastle goalkeeper the Norwich goalkeeper Tim Krul to perform a heroics again, but it wasn't to be. Manchester United progressed. Hopefully, we're going to progress. And who do you like between City and Newcastle?
City.
Yeah. Maybe Newcastle will be a powerhouse in a few years to come if their ownership starts making waves in the league. But we'll see what happens. But for me, we want to go with Emi Martinez. Keep the centre back pairing of Rob Holding and Mustafi. We're going to get to the fullbacks. I'll leave the fullbacks till last. I want to go with Torreira and Granit Xhaka. I think they're probably the best two players at our midfield in the defensive midfield position. Danny Ceballos a little bit in front. Hasn't set the world alight, Danny Ceballos, but he's probably our better option. I would be okay with Joe Willock being in there. Confidence boosted from Thursday, and so important for our midfield to get goals. So either Ceballos or Willock in the central attacking midfield. And some people don't want Pepe on the right side. I want to persevere with Pepe on the right side. Nketiah down the middle and Aubameyang on the left, where he seems to flourish. Coming to the fullbacks, I would like to see Kieran. Actually, I've left Saka out, so would like Saka. Yeah, let me think about that. I would like Saka in midfield instead of Ceballos or Willock. And how could I leave Saka out? I'd like Kieran Tierney a left back, and I'm not sure if Bellerin is going to be fit enough, or even Tierney's going to be fit enough. So we could see Kolasinac or probably Socrates in the right back position as well. Tony, what do you think? A few minutes before the teams are actually announced, what do you think? What would you like to see from Mikel Arteta?
I'd like to see Bell be ready since he's only had one full training session with his broken ankle. I don't think that's enough to.
Which player was that?
Carrera.
Torreira, yeah. With lots of options in midfield, and Saka could come in instead of Torreira. He's been used. Saka's been used a lot in different positions. Such a talented young player. I think he's shown that he can adapt a lot. I would keep him centrally or left-sided. I don't think he did very well against Manchester City on the right side.
No.
Any other things you'd like? Would you like to see Lacazette, or would you like to see
I'd like to see Lacazette.
Lacazette or Eddie?
I think Lacazette needs some more game time. I'd play Lacazette. Rest Eddie some.
Yeah, and depending on what kind of game it could be, Lacazette could be used to hold the ball up. Although, do you think he's really good at the ball sticking in his feet when it comes to him? Back to the goal.
And I think that's where his best spot is, just quick instincts.
Yeah. Lacazette seems to flourish when he doesn't have time to think on the ball, and he just quickly takes quick shots. Sometimes if he thinks about it too much, Tony, he loses the chance. It takes an extra touch. He was close against Brighton a couple of times, blocked through committed defenders against Brighton, and maybe he's knocking on the door. Maybe he will score today.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more of a front two than a front three. I think it's been working better that way, that they've been experimenting with it parts of the match.
All right. So the lineups will be announced very, very soon. And keep refreshing here the webpage, so we're going to get you the lineup live as it happens. But before the lockdown, Tony, this would have been a very different game. We were looking at it maybe with some trepidation, some worry about the crowd having a big impact on Sheffield United. Sheffield United kind of haven't done well with the restart. The VAR decision against them a week ago, last Wednesday, was probably something that sent them into a bit of a tailspin.
Yeah, I think I heard it. I think they were playing pretty good, but getting that goal stolen from them just kind of derailed them a bit.
Yeah, that's something that would derail an Arsenal team as well. So, we lose a goal, a game in that fashion, and then they lost against Newcastle 4-0 last Sunday, and more recently against United. You have the lineup. Okay, so the lineup is Martinez, hold that up. Martinez, Mustafi, David Luiz is in. Tierney is your left back. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, probably right back. Granit Xhaka, Willock. Oh, hold on. Ainsley Maitland-Niles could be in midfield. We've got Lacazette, we've got Pepe, and we've got Saka. So Aubameyang's rested for this game. So let's go through it again. I think it's a
Back three.
It's a back three. You're playing. You're thinking.
Yep.
Okay. Martinez, Mustafi, Mustafi, and David Luiz are your centre backs. Tierney's your left back. Or you think could be three at the back maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Saka will be your wing back. Maitland-Niles. Kolasinac is definitely going to be your wing back. Maitland-Niles. Okay. Lacazette, Pepe, and Saka. So, no Aubameyang today.
I think he needed a rest. He's with
Yeah, he's on the substitutes bench probably as well, Tony, right? So that may not be the worst thing in the world to have a world-class player in Aubameyang sitting on the bench waiting to come on. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for joining us. What do you think about the lineup, Stephen? Let me know. I'm gonna give it to you again, and for the FA Cup quarterfinal versus Sheffield United.
Didn't surprise me. I thought they might rest Toby.
A game we want to win. I want to join the semi-finals with it looks like Manchester United and probably Chelsea and City in the semi-finals. So if we make it there, it's not going to be an easy semi-final. But we did it in 2017. We did that the difficult way as well. We beat Manchester City in the semi-final and we beat Chelsea in the final. So. And the assembled welcome. This is a pre-game show. We are talking about the lineup here. Notable substitutes here, Tony. Let me give you the team as well that you just showed me. It's Martinez in goal. It's Mustafi, David Luiz, and Tierney. We think the wing backs are going to be Kolasinac and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. In midfield, Granit Xhaka, Willock, and Saka. And then up front, we've got Pepe on the right side, Lacazette through the middle, and Saka will be on the left side. So Saka's going to be the left winger today, Tony.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and we've seen him link up in the past with Lacazette to good effect, especially in the Europa League earlier this season.
Yeah, they seem to have a good understanding with each other.
FA Cup quarterfinal, Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Two teams, we're very even in the league. Our ambitions are in the FA Cup as well. So this is a very even contest, Tony. And looking at the lineup, what do you think? How can we go? Do you think we're going to win today?
I think it's a pretty strong side. I think we should win. I think Lacazette should be hungry to show that he deserves to be starting instead of being on the bench. Our left side looks really strong. Our right side should be stronger, having Niles in there.
Yeah, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That's a good point. We'll drive forward and help Pepe a lot more. I think Pepe suffered because of Bellerin's obviously struggling for fitness coming back from that ACL injury.
Yeah, I think Bellerin way too many steps considering how out of form he's looked. He just doesn't look fit. And Niles looked probably, I'd say, the brightest player when Arteta first started. I don't know why he's got benched and not been played hardly at all.
So the big news is David Luiz is back in, and we feared that this would happen a little bit, and it has happened, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately. Has Guendouzi met the bench even?
I don't think it was on it. I can't remember. I just went off of it. Nope.
Definitely, it's good that Nketiah is probably in there as well, and
Macy, Bellerin, Socrates, Holdings, Smith, Ceballos, Nelson, Eddie, and Uba.
All right, so I'm putting it up there down below. I think the formation may not be particularly correct, but we have Emi Martinez in goal, Ainsley Maitland-Niles on the right, 3 at the back, Tierney, Mustafi, David Luiz. I haven't got Kolasinac in there, Granit Xhaka, Willock. Saka is on the left, Lacazette, and Pepe on the right-hand side. Hi, Hopes. Thanks for joining.
Hey, guys. How are you?
All right.
Good. Have you seen the team yet?
Yeah, I did. And I just thought I'd pop on for a few minutes to discuss some thoughts.
Yes.
I can see it's, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I can see he's gone for a 3-5-2. And I'm just trying, I thought instead of trying to work it out myself, I might as well try and work it out with you guys. But now I've lost the team sheet because I'm logging off the phone. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Team sheet. Carry on without me for 2 seconds.
I got it up.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So, right. Thanks,
and
Tony.
I've got ticker tape on the bottom as well, Hopes.
Yeah, right. So he's got 3 at the back and he's got 5 in the middle. And I'm trying to think, when we defend, you've got Tierney and Kolasinac coming back to a 5. So who's the 3? You've got Xhaka, Willock.
It's a 3-4-3. 3-4-3.
3-4-3. So,
yeah.
Really? So, okay. So educate me here because I'm kind of...
Okay, so in the forwards, you got Saka, Lacazette, and Pepe.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And you're playing David Luiz, Tierney, and Mustafi. And he's using the fullbacks with the 2 holding midfielders as the 4 in midfield.
Niles and Kolasinac as the fullbacks.
Right, okay, so you go into a 5...
5 without the ball.
And how many in midfield?
5-2-3.
Well, Saka would definitely come back. Pepe, we know, doesn't have that discipline.
But if he did, it'd be 5-4-1. If Pepe came back, 5-4-1 in defence.
5-3-2 because you'll have Saka.
5-4-1.
5-4-1.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 3-4-3 going forward. Who's the 4 in the middle? So it's Kolasinac, Pepe, No, Kolasinac, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Willock, and Xhaka. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I've got you. So I'm baffled, right? What you've got Guendouzi, who threw someone on the floor who is not on the pitch. He's not even on the bench.
Nope.
I wonder if that means he's definitely gone. It's just see you later now. Like, we've had enough and we're going to sell you.
I saw something late last night that they had a meeting and everything's going to be resolved.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
But from the team sheet, it doesn't look like that, right?
correct. But would he mentally be ready anyway?
I think he would have been.
I think he would have been. He's just he's missed one game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then if we park that one for a minute, then I'm thinking, he's got Kolasinac. He because Sheffield United are really physical, like on and off the ball. I think he's putting in some beefy players like Kolasinac and Ainsley, because Ainsley for his defensive qualities. It seems like he's really gone like conservative on the lineup, and he's put Louise. Louise just walked straight back in. Where's the reprimand for that? Like, where's the hold on? You cost us, with your red card, and
this is a sign of things to be. Hopes that David Luiz will be in the team at any opportunity, and he really seems to believe in David Luiz.
Yeah.
So Stephen's saying, why are we making it more complicated? I think it's because this is what Arteta does do. He gets his strategy and formation, and he's trying to work with this team toward the end of the season to be flexible in formations and strategy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just, in one hand, making it more complicated, I take that point on board from Stephen. However, it's nice to know what we're working towards in a system style, in a tactical way. I think the last game we played 3-4-3 as well, right?
Yes.
So
we've played that before.
So post lockdown, correct me if I'm wrong here, this is the second of the 4 games we've gone 3-4-3.
Yeah, I would think so. Yes.
Yeah, so it means like Arteta is he's trying to cover for both eventualities, attack and defense. The only thing with that is, let's talk about attack. With a 3-4-3, you've got the Sakas, you've got
Pepe on the right,
and Laka in the middle. So who supports? Who else supports out of the 4 in the middle? Do you see what I'm saying?
You're going to get Xhaka linking up with Saka on the left side. That's something that has developed quite a lot. You're going to have Louise as the left-sided defender.
Niles,
right?
Pepe.
On the right side, you're going to have Ainsley Maitland-Niles driving forward and helping Pepe on the right side. With Willock, who tends to play a little bit on the right-hand side too. And Willock is the player that's going to drive into the box. Hopes.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. Willock is gonna. So that means, are we gonna be left short when we attack? Because I can only see out of Kolasinac, Willock, Xhaka, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. In my opinion, Willock is the most attacking player. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So because Kolasinac, like a tank, will run to the finish line, but he hasn't got a cross in him.
Yeah, so Kolasinac may be just instructed to go as far as midfield, because you're going to have Saka on the left side. You don't want to overload too much. You don't want to get in the way too much.
Jack was the one staying back and having Tierney go forward.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. When Tierney goes forward, to avoid him cramping, get Kolasinac to sit back. Maybe overlap.
And Steven's right here. Willock on the right assisting, so that's going to help. Our right side, I think, is going to be a little bit more dynamic today than it was against Southampton.
It's got to be.
It's going to be interesting because I can see triangles on the left and the right, and it would be good to see Pepe just run at them, like use that pace and run at them. But he needs to be fed the balls from now Willock and Ainsley. Yeah, but
and going from the Southampton game, hopes Pepe actually only received the ball 8 times in 60 some minutes he was on the field. So that's not enough for any winger to drive. You know.
That's interesting.
Right, Steven's asking, what do we think the score will be, and who will get the goals? I'm going to hang my hat on Joe Willock now with the lineup announced. I think he will drive into the ball. Lacazette and Saka could assist in helping Joe Willock get on the end of something and score. I'm going for a 2-1 win. I don't know if Lacazette is going to score or not, but we'll see what happens. He needs to get a goal. 2-1 win for me. You think that it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that, Hopes?
What's Tony think?
I think Lacazette will score. I was debating between 2-1 and 3-1. I think it's end up being 3-1. 3-1
to Arsenal.
Yep.
Who's going to score?
Against Sheff United. That could be. I mean, each game is in of itself, and it takes on a life of its own. It could happen, but they're very defensively dour. Sheff United are. They're going to fight tooth and nail. Hopes. Their season's falling apart a little bit.
Yeah, because this game is equally. They could get Europe as well.
Yeah, and they're only 2 points ahead of us in the league. I say only, but it's not within the realms of possibility we could go past them in the league. And this is a quarterfinal that both teams should want to win.
Absolutely. I would say 2-1 Arsenal. I've got an inclination Saka and Pepe will score. Yeah, that's what I believe.
With Lacazette having a hand in playing them in possibly as well. We've had 15 quarterfinals in our history, and we've won 13 of the 15. That's a good omen.
It is. I remember
our record against United is not great.
No, but I remember in 2017 as well when we beat Man City in the semis and Chelsea in the final, because I was at both of those. Yeah. I was lucky enough to be at both of those games. That was under Wenger.
Good memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is something that maybe is an edge that Arteta knows. This competition, it's near and dear to his heart, and hopefully he can engender some of that tenacity into the squad to repeat the history. I'm not going to make you spit your drink out there in a second. Repeat the history of previous times, but this squad is different. It's not the squad that we had of 2017. We have players like Koscielny and Monreal who were driving the team forward. We had Ozil playing at a higher level, and that's not happening in the intervening time. But Steven said Tierney would be better going forward. His delivery is better than Kolasinac's, so Tierney could go forward and Kolasinac to cover him.
Definitely.
It's going to be something to look out for. Who's actually going to play on the flank there? Will it be Tierney with Kolasinac inside, or would you switch it the other way around, Tony?
I'd have Tierney on the outside, but I think I'll be switching who's covering.
And that could be a tactical nuance, the hopes.
Definitely. I think it's a clever it's a clever tactic to play. We kind of said that before Steven said that, because I think you get Tierney to go forward because he can whip that ball in. He's got a good cross on him. And you just get Kolasinac to sit back when Tierney goes forward. And more importantly, you get Xhaka to hold the CDM role. don't let Xhaka go past the halfway line because he can't pass anyway. But that's a different story within itself. Do you
He'll
see what I
definitely
mean?
with that lineup, he'll definitely be under instruction not to get beyond the ball. I would believe.
And then,
Collar
and
on
then,
him goes past the halfway line.
and then when they when they attack us, that is when you try and get Tierney to sit back because he's the better defender as well, and you get Sayad to do his tank tactics. You know.
Mhm. So welcome into Stephen, the assembled, and Zoheb. Thanks for joining. The lineup of the team is on the ticker tape below. It's Emi Martinez. We're playing 3 at the back. David Luiz has been restored to the fold. We've got Mustafi and possibly, I'm going to say, Tierney either side of him. Kolasinac, Ainsley Maitland-Niles as the wing backs. The midfield is Granit Xhaka with Willock, and then 3 up front. Saka on the left, Lacazette in the middle, and Pepe on the right. And Stephen has been thinking that Pepe may score today. Did you go for a win, Hopes? What's your score prediction?
2-1. What I'd like to ask, if that's okay, Willock.
One second, we're just going to answer Sanchez the 43. Which formation are we going to go with? 3 at the back with 4 in midfield. The 2 wing backs are going to complement the 2 players in midfield, and 3 up front. Saka, Lacazette, and Pepe. That'll be when we have the ball, and when we don't have the ball, it'll be more of a 5-3-2, we think. Go ahead, Hopes.
What I was going to say is when you look at this team going along the ticket tack at the bottom, you see patterns forming here. Willock is consistently playing. Saka has played every game post-lockdown. Yeah. Luiz, if he didn't get red carded. Mustafi, so it's Xhaka. So it seems like these 5 players are the core. And like your Ainsley Maitland-Niles, your Tierneys, your Kolasinac, and your Pepes are being tested to see who else, who else can come in and do a job. Was I right in seeing before I came on, Aubameyang's not even on the bench? Was that right?
No, he's on the bench.
Okay, so Aubameyang's on the. Who else is on the bench?
Macy, Bellerin, Socrates, Holding, Smith, Ceballos, Nelson, Eddie, and Uber.
So he doesn't. So he like Socrates has been available the last few games, but he's gone with Mustafi consistently. Yep. Also, I thought Rob Holding put in a shift for us against Southampton.
Yeah.
And Sheffield United are going to be doing the long balls, right? They're going to be hammering us with long balls, and we know Luiz is not really that good in the air. So I think that's going to be one of our vulnerable sides. And why split that partnership up? Is Holding Holding's not on the bench, right?
That's something I wanted to maintain. Hopes was to keep that partnership. Go, Tony.
Holding's on the bench.
He's on the bench. I wanted to keep that partnership of Mustafi and Holding together. They seemed like you were getting some a rhythm going, and that's been disrupted.
Does that mean he doesn't rate Holding that much because he's got Willock? Yeah. This is what Willock's 3rd game now.
Yep. Willock played against Southampton. He came on. He came on for Pepe. Willock did. So Willock's featured quite a lot.
What do we think of Willock being featured quite a lot?
Just before we do that, Hopes, let's just answer Zohaib's question. Do we rate Pablo Mari? I haven't seen much of him. From what I've seen of Pablo Mari, I think he's one of the more competent defenders that we have on the books. That's not saying a lot. I realize that. 2.5 games, he's out injured. But I have personally seen enough from Pablo Mari to think he's definitely in the top 3 of defenders on our books. Hopes you're right, Pablo.
I haven't seen enough of him. Like the question, it's too early to make a judgment call. I'm worried that in a top game when we needed him, i.e. against City, after 24 minutes, he's okay. I don't know if it was an injury or if it was he just couldn't hack it. I don't know. But we've bought him now, so when he's back next season, we're going to find out.
And I think I'm going to come to you then, Tony. I think most of the fan base will be okay with buying Pablo Mari if we do spend money in other departments of the team, such as Partey in midfield or a right back. We'll see what happens there. Tony, your thoughts on Pablo Mari?
Just in 204 minutes, I don't think we've seen enough of him. That's just not enough time.
Yeah. So we have to wait and see. Hopes, before I cut you off there, you were talking about Willock.
Yeah. What do we make of Willock? For me, he doesn't have enough strength. It's going to be interesting in this game, like to play these, these difficult games. I think he tires fairly soon. I don't think he's got
What's the weather going to be like there, Hopes? Give us a weather forecast.
Well, I'm down south. That's up north. I'm down south. At the minute, this is what the weather looks like.
You're only talking about a few degrees, are you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, the divide between north and south, who knows? But yeah, Willock for me, I don't know. I think in this game, it's a bit of a risk. I would have liked to see Ceballos further up, but maybe he's gone with Willock because Willock fits the system and he's more box to box than Ceballos. He's got that stamina.
Here's my thoughts on Willock, and I've been pretty consistent about this. I think he has a lot of talent. I think within himself personally, he feels like he doesn't belong in the dressing room and he needs that belief. He looks like the kind of a player where the coach needs to wrap his arms around them and say, you're a player I believe in and let's roll with it.
Cool. On that note, I'm going to leave you guys to it. Enjoy the game. Welcome, Gundit, and see you later.
Thanks, Hopes, for dropping by.
Thanks, Hopes.
We're filling in a left back like Granit Xhaka would have.
And well done for getting up so early, your end of the pond, well done.
Yeah, I gotta say big up to all those people around the world who are further west of me, who will be getting up at silly o'clock hours, like people on the west coast here, but Hopes, let's hope for that win, and we'll talk to you in the near future. I know you can't make it post game, but we'll talk to you in the near future.
Come on, Arsenal. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. All right, bye here. Everyone's heard Tony and Hopes and myself talking a lot. The team is announced. It's on the ticker tape below. Formation, we believe, is 3-4-3 with 2 wing backs. So I'm going to announce the team to you and then get your thoughts on the game, and then we'll get out of here within probably the next 10 minutes. So Emi Martinez in goal, Tierney, Mustafi, and David Luiz as the 3. We have 2 wing backs who are going to push into midfield. Kolasinac, Ainsley Maitland-Niles on the right side, Granit Xhaka and Willock in the middle, and then we got three great players up front: Saka, Lacazette, and Pepe.
Okay, super interesting. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry I'm so late. I fell asleep. But very interesting. Obviously, this is the time for experimenting, since there isn't really much to play for anymore. Although, funny enough, yeah, no, I know it's FA Cup. I'm just saying. Funnily enough, if you win the FA Cup, you actually get a qualification into Europa.
Yeah.
which I found the other day, and I was like, huh? How does that make even any sense? But anyway,
I know, but it
that
does.
is a way into it does actually.
I think they're trying to find a way to start to value the competition again. In recent years, it's become devalued. I think all of us Gooners love the competition because we won it more than any other team in the country. So something to shout about. Stephen said, and I agree with you, Stephen. He thinks it's a game that should have suited Eddie. Would have started him over Lacazette. Let's hope that Lacazette proves me wrong and bangs the goals in. And
Yeah.
that's something I hear that Lacazette really needs to step up and start, getting some goals and getting his confidence back.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I pray for Lacazette that he can do that, because as we do know, over the seasons he has declined, and that's led to a shortage of goals. And like even trusting, you can't trust Edin Ketia right now. But I mean, I suppose that's what thing he's even doing. Arteta, you know.
Shout out to Christian. Have not seen you. I think you're a new face. Thanks for joining the Arsenal fan circle, and sub up if you like the channel. Really would appreciate it. Hit that like button, people. It helps the channel grow. We don't beg for likes or subs all the time, but if you're around, you like the channel. We're going to do a post game show about 4 hours out. If the game ends in normal time, it'll be about 4 hours after the game. But hopefully, it doesn't go into extra time like yesterday and be a nervous game for us.
Hopefully,
And
there's just a lot of goals, right, guys? Hey, Tony.
hopefully, there's a lot of goals. Tony, Glenn has said, "Hey, legends, thanks, Glenn. That's Ozil gone this summer, surely." Now, he just has had a newborn. He's a father for the first time.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Glenn,
Ozil.
yeah.
But this was probably not a game that most fans would want him to come back in anyway, Tony. Up north against Sheffield United in an FA Cup game.
I still thought he would be on the bench, but
Um,
I think we'll end up buying out his
Well,
contract.
I think there's only one. I think there's only one umbrella for the squad, and maybe Aubameyang is going to put his legs over the next seat and cross his legs there for the Lacazette pose. Right here, do we think this game would have suited Eddie?
Yes. Yes, it would.
I agree.
And at the same time, we want to see Laka bang in and get his form right up, because the whole idea of selling him, I mean, we do love Lacazette as a player, although he needs to improve a lot, a lot, a lot. So he can be that other central striker that we can depend on, Can't have everything. Can't have everything harping on Aubameyang scoring goals.
Umar Nazi, thanks for joining us. I'm not sure what Mantap Naya means, but I hope I pronounced it correctly. And welcome to Arsenal Fan Circle. Stephen, after 204 minutes, did you really want to see more or just get someone else fully fit? I think that was probably in relation to Pablo Marie, Tony.
Yep. I still wanted to see more of him.
And in hindsight, if we look back at this and we spent the money in other areas on the field, would you be okay with that, man? Here, let's say we signed Pablo Marie up like we did, but we actually spend the money on a Partey, maybe a Max Aarons, maybe a Grealish, something like that.
Sure. Then I would have preferred that we spend the money up front and rather not dilly-dally on, players like Pablo Marie and then Cedric Suarez.
Yeah, it's just a little bit worrying for me, Tony, that if that's the case, that we haven't actually splashed a lot of money in defense again for another season, and we're jumping the gun a little bit, maybe, Tony, in speaking this way.
I don't think we're going to spend money at center back. I think we need to, but I think central defensive mids would be our main priority.
Umar Nasi, welcome. Where are you joining us from? Let us know, everyone, where you're from. Really would be good to give you a shout out live here on the channel.
Of course.
Mahir, Gooners are waking up all over the world for this game.
I mean, hey, man. It's just coincidence that everybody just deciding to get up now and, are they nice and fresh for the game,
Yeah, nice, exactly.
Brilliant.
Enjoying their food.
Of course, everyone is watching Arsenal at different time zones and stuff like that. Here, it's pretty early in the morning. On the West Coast, or it's going to be in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, in Africa, in South Africa, it's about 25 to 2 in the afternoon. So
yeah. Umar Nasi, hope we can go to the final and win the trophy, and that would be something really, really good. You always see, Tony, really, really good teams that have a good coach. I'm not saying if Arteta doesn't win it, he's not a good coach, but it's his first. It would be a half season that he's been in charge, and to go and win the competition would be something, And Arsenal always traditionally have been the team who can beat any other team on the day, on the big occasion.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first titles we won a while with when he was a player with us. He knows what it means, so he'll be pushing for us to win it.
So Christian is saying Arsenal must win this. He's saying also that he's going to get €1,000 if they win. So he's put some money down, And I think at 6-4, I think it's going to be a pretty even bet. It's going to be pretty even between the two teams. But I'm pretty confident that Arsenal can take the win today. Steven said Arsenal have been trying to fix their defense for years and years on the cheap, and by now the money spent on cheap fixes, we could have just went out and got quality defenders and saved the money, right, Tony?
Yeah, we spent over $100 on center backs.
Yeah, but we haven't spent them well, and I keep looking here at over at Anfield. Liverpool have climbed the mountain, and they've climbed 2 mountains. They went and won the Champions League, and they've probably now that they had the Champions League, they were more focused on winning the Premier League for the first time after 30 years. And good luck to them. They're having a party. We should try and do it socially distanced, but very difficult to do that when you're a team hasn't won the league in 30 years. They're celebrating, so good luck to them. The whole ethos of the club was turned over 3 or 4 years ago, Tony, and the new management team, the new ownership came in, helped Liverpool to get on the road, and here they are 3 years later. They put everything in place, and they've reached the promised land of the Premier League for them.
Yeah,
but you know what? Just goes to Tony. It goes to selling rubbish players and replacing them, or even selling top quality players, but replacing them with like for like. Went to they sold Coutinho and bought Alisson and Van Dijk. Geez Louise.
And having a plan as well, Meyer. Having
having a plan.
Having the ownership is going to go out and they went and got a coach that probably suited them, or he maybe adapted his coaching to.
Do you know we screwed? Yeah, most definitely. We screwed up, Tony. We screwed up as soon as we didn't buy any outfield players in this one transfer window, and the only player we bought was Peter Cech for that window. That was our decline. That was our welcome to retirement, Banter FC. You can call it what you need to call it,
Yeah. So Christian saying Arsenal 2+. So let's get it. Let's go there. Listen, I believe, Mahir, I believe we have parts of the club. Our ownership continues to be a problem until we see in this time where we can actually spend money without restrictions, right, Tony?
Yep, no financial fair play for 12 months.
No financial fair play for 12 months. Dan Kroenke will be found out. I mean, if he's not already been found out, he will be found out in these 12 months in terms of what the ownership is willing to do to help the club. Are they just going to keep milking the club so they can lay down tarmac over there in Los Angeles? We'll see what happens. I believe that we have a lot of the parts in position. We've got Arteta as a former player who loves Arsenal, who knows the fabric of the club, um, knows what it means to put the jersey on and to play for Arsenal. I think he will reinstill that into the squad. We've got Per Mertesacker, who's heading up the academy, and we've seen what the academy is doing for us. By no means should we just be leaning on the academy. We have to sprinkle around the team some established experience and good players through the transfer market. Um, the executives are something we need to still put on notice. Raul has to prove himself. Edu, for me, has to prove himself, and Vinay also. Any comments, Tony, for on the setup of the club overall? Not wanting to compare it to Liverpool too much, but that's the model we need to follow.
It's a model we need to follow. First, I'm going to go to what Glenn was saying. He thinks it's going to be a goal fest with 4-1 win.
Yeah, Glenn, and it could happen. We've seen Newcastle put four past them. It's as much to do with how we're going to play as it is with Sheffield United. And I think if I'm a Sheffield United player, I'm thinking we got to fight and we're going to have to be physical. I think the referee is going to have to be who's the referee for this game, Tony? The referee is going to be. I'm giving you work. I'm giving you work there to go research. Yeah, but I'm just thinking that Sheffield are going to be physical, here, and they're going to put it up to us.
I mean,
Referee's going to have to be wise for that.
yeah, he's gonna have to be prepared, and hopefully he's not gonna be one of those. It's not gonna be one of those long days, like really, really long afternoons where things just go from worse to worse.
So Christian put €1, and I think it's an accumulator. And if Arsenal win for him, he's going to scoop up a nice amount of money.
£1,000 is a lot of money, hey.
€1,000. Christian, is it dependent on the score or the win?
€1,000.
Yeah. Tony, it's okay anyway in terms of the referee. Whichever referee it is, they're gonna have to be strong because they think Sheffield. The only way to beat Arsenal, and this is something Arsenal has to overcome, is physicality. Teams know that if they get physical against our players and our younger players, that possibly they can win. But it's down to something we talked about on Thursday night: the desire and will to win. Right here.
Yeah, desire, heart, and passion. We've been crying out for this all the time, day in, day out. And sometimes you just don't get that, or most of the time you just don't get that. So, and since this is a competition that, it's the only competition we can get into Europe for, and Sheffield United's chance to win a cup, to remain in a cup competition and possibly win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It's not as straightforward as we're gonna win or they're gonna win. It's gonna be a tough game.
So great to see new faces. James Fernandez. Let me know where you're all tuning in from. All Gooners around the world. Love you all. We want the best for Arsenal. It's the one common link that we have. It's a family. We're all part of the Gooner family, and if you want to take a look at the channel, subscribe if you like it. TD Shifts, great to see you.
Australia.
We started doing Thursday night podcasts just to target Australia because we had a few subscribers from Australia. They couldn't see us on Sunday afternoons here. So we started doing Thursday night. So I think comes to you Friday morning. But great to see everyone. Let me know where you're coming from. We're going to sign out of here soon. If you like the channel, if you like the podcast, subscribe, hit the like button. And James is asking, do we think we will get a European place in England? Yeah, many times, like you said earlier, Mahir, maybe unfortunately we need to take a year out of Europe and develop and get better next season. But I think we will finish. I think we'll finish sixth in the league, and ultimately, I don't think we're going to win the FA Cup, but I do think we're going to win today. Tony,
Paul King.
what's that? Paul King. He's not one of the higher profile referees, so that's probably a good thing for us. You know, we seem to not do well now here with the likes of Mike Dean and all of these other referees.
But then again, it's quality of our squad, not more so with the referee. That's just additional bad luck.
I guarantee we'll get better players. We have to get better players because most players on the market right now are probably better than some of what we have right now, Tony. Right, I'll set you guys a challenge, see what defenders and midfielders you can get on free or not much money, see what players you can get, then wait for who Arsenal bring in and what they pay. Yeah.
And Ozil supposedly has another back injury.
But my ear, this is not really a game for Ozil that you would have wanted to play him.
No, it's gonna be a physical match, like we just said. It's gonna be a very physical match.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I just think the whole idea of having him still around, complete rubbish. Because
Yep.
I mean, you can't. Oh, the match is gonna be too physical. You can't play. Or oh, this week he can't play because I just don't want to use him. Oh, next week it's tactical decision not to play him.
And as Glenn said, people joining us, if you want to see the team, it's on the ticker tape below. The game is starting in 13 minutes. Thanks, Christian. And we will be signing off shortly. We've had I have a 2-1 prediction. Tony 3-1. Mahir, did you predict the score?
3-0.
3-0, confident. Look, this is something Arteta needs to. I think he really got into the players after the Brighton game, and they had a reaction for Southampton. But if you want to be consistent in this game, you have to have the will and desire to win every game. And I'm really hoping that these players uphold our history and our tradition. And we've always done very, very well in the FA Cup, and this is something they need to generate on the field themselves because there's not going to be any crowd there, right here.
Yeah, I mean, you know the utmost importance of such things. Well, here's a place in Europe, possibly. Here's a place in Europe, which is an actual thing up for grabs. So, what do you do? Do you not go get into Europe, play only English Premier League, only play the Premier League, and improve there? Or do you go into Europe, get a little bit more money, get maybe 1 or 2 better players with that extra money? What do you do? Just depends.
Yeah, and the thing is that I'm blanking on what I was going to say, but the thing is that this is a game that we have to win. I keep on harping on about the same thing. We're going to get out of here. Wanted to announce actually we will be having a post-game show. If we picked up any new viewers here, you like what we had to say, we will be breaking down and analyzing the game post-game. We're going to go about 4 hours after the end of normal time if it doesn't go into extra time. So look out for that. It'll be posted on the channel, and we'll get together.
Yeah, I think it's just frozen at the moment, but
yeah. All right.
Oh my gosh.
We'll leave it there. The team, I'm going to announce it one more time, and we'll get out of here. Martinez guys,
Give up, right?
Rhea,